So, let's talk about Tasmania. It's an island of the most baffling contradictions you can possibly imagine. Think about it. It's a place where life can hang on for literally tens of thousands of years, and at the same time, it's a place where entire species can just vanish in the blink of an eye. This is a story of deep time crashing head-on into shocking speed.
And if you really want to get a handle on this island, we have to start right here, with this incredible animal. I mean, look at it. It looks like something from a prehistoric dream, right? And you know what? In a way, it is. This is the Malgean skate, and it is one of the rarest, most vulnerable creatures on the entire planet. Its fight for survival, well, that's the key to this whole story.
So what exactly is this thing? Well, the Malgean skate is what scientists call a Gondwanan relict. That's just a fancy way of saying its ancestors were swimming around when Australia, Antarctica, and South America were all smashed together into one giant supercontinent. It's literally an evolutionary echo from another age. And that term, microendemic, that means it has one of the tiniest, most restricted homes of any animal like it on Earth. No joke.
And when I say tiny home, I mean it. What you're looking at here, that's its entire universe. See, it used to live in two different estuaries, but now the entire global population is crammed into this one single body of water, Macquarie Harbor. Just try to wrap your head around that. A species with a family tree stretching back millions of years, and its entire future depends on this one single, incredibly fragile spot.
And yeah, you guessed it, its world is in serious trouble. This poor skate is getting squeezed from all sides by a perfect storm of modern problems. The water is literally losing its oxygen, partly because of all the salmon farming. Runoff from old mines has polluted the seabed, and to top it all off, because there are so few of them left, their genetic diversity is rock bottom. That means they have almost no ability to adapt to all these crazy, rapid changes. We are literally watching it teeter on the brink of a global extinction event, right now.
Okay, so that's the shocking speed part of the story. But here's where it gets truly weird, that baffling contradiction I was talking about. This very same island, this graveyard for some species, is also a sanctuary for some of the oldest, most impossible survivors on the entire planet. Which just makes you wonder, just how old can life actually get here?
Get ready for this. 43,600 years. Just let that number sink in for a second. That is not a typo. We're talking about a time when woolly mammoths were still roaming the earth. Something came to life in Tasmania back then, and it is still alive today.
And this right here is the perfect example of Tasmania's deep time. This plant is called King's Holly. And here's the crazy part. It's sterile. It can't make seeds. It doesn't grow fruit. For over 43,000 years, it has survived by doing just one thing. When a branch falls off, it just takes root and grows a perfect genetic copy of itself. It's not a new plant. It's the same plant. One single organism, a clone, that's been alive since the Ice Age. Unbelievable.
And you know what? It's not the only ancient one around. Tasmania is also home to huon pines. I mean, these are individual trees that can live for over 2,000 years, and they can form these clonal forests that are over 10,000 years old. But maybe most importantly, this is the land of the Palawa people. We're talking about one of the longest, most resilient, continuous human cultures on the entire planet. They survived complete isolation and the brutal conditions of the last ice age for over 40,000 years. Just incredible.
So this brings us right back to that central puzzle, doesn't it? How can a place that's a cradle for life, this ancient, this resilient, also be a place of such fast modern destruction? What on earth happened?
Well, the answer really comes down to a collision of two completely different ways of seeing time. For more than 40,000 years, you had the Palawa people living in what you could call ecological time. It's cyclical, it's sustainable, it's a rhythm with the land. And then, just a little over 200 years ago, something totally new arrived, machine time. This was linear, it was all about extraction, and it operated at a speed that this ancient ecosystem had never, ever experienced before.
Right. So this period is what some call the Great Acceleration. It's really the story of how just 200 years of industrial activity completely overwrote 40,000 years of history, culture, and ecology. I mean, the pace of change is it's breathtaking. In just over a century and a half, you see this violent attempt to drive an entire people from their land. You see the extinction of the island's top predator. You see the birth of the world's first green political party, right here. And then, after the Port Arthur tragedy, one of the fastest, most dramatic shifts on gun laws anywhere in the world. The island just lurches from one extreme to the next. And the story of the thylacine, or the Tasmanian tiger, the irony is just heartbreaking. It was hunted almost to extinction, and then, right after the government finally gave it legal protection, the very last one we knew about died. Died from neglect in a zoo. It's just the ultimate tragic symbol of too little, too late.
You know, these wild, jarring contrasts, they really define what Tasmania is today. Think about it. You have Cape Grim, which has literally the cleanest air on Earth that scientists can measure. And then you have Queenstown, a town sitting in the middle of a barren, chemical moonscape left behind by a century of copper smelting. Or this, the island is way bigger than the Netherlands, but has 30 times fewer people. And the social whiplash, it's incredible. Tasmania went from having some of the absolute harshest anti-gay laws in the British Commonwealth to some of the most progressive, basically in a single generation.
So where does all this leave Tasmania today? Well, what's happening there is basically a miniature version of the challenges the whole world is facing. It's all about trying to reconcile this incredibly deep, complex history with a super fragile, fast-moving present.
If you were to draw up a balance sheet for modern Tasmania, it would be a perfect picture of this conflict. In the gains column, you've got amazing things. It runs on 100% renewable energy. It's become a global destination for art and science. But then you look at the losses column, and it's devastating. Sacred indigenous sites are now at the bottom of hydro dams. It's the site of Australia's first documented marine extinction, and a culture that lasted 40,000 years was pushed right to the very brink of being completely wiped out.
And that, of course, brings us right back to where we started this whole journey. The fate of that Malgegian skate, it wraps up this entire story perfectly. You've got this ancient survivor, this living fossil, facing threats that are completely modern. Its future, and really the island's future, isn't some distant problem. It's being written right now, in real time, by the choices we're all making today.
So here's the bottom line. As all of us around the world are grappling with climate change, extinction, and trying to reconcile with the past, we have to look at Tasmania and ask a really important question. Is this island's extreme story a terrifying warning of just how quickly everything can be lost? Or could it be a blueprint, a kind of laboratory for figuring out how we can save it?